be done if they do the negotiations properly. Then that
is one aspect of it, because if we establish this
dollar bonds, which individual bondholders, so that they can also agree to something that government wants to do, just as they have been able to get the banks to agree on something else. They have the cocoa bills also that government may restructure, and then the independent power pool.
Go ahead, Doc.
Dr. Rick here. Another sign you're becoming your parents is getting particular about details that don't matter.
The craziest thing happened when we got tacos the other day. Was it Wednesday or Thursday we got tacos? I know it wasn't Tuesday because that's when I went to my hairdresser. Shoot, what day was it?
See how we all lost interest there?
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
And in terms of, or in the context of total domestic debt, for 250 billion in total domestic debt, and 83 billion is just about a fraction of that total debt portfolio. So if we must achieve the 55% debt to GDP ratio by 2028, and present we need to do a bit more. Already, we've seen the government trying to come back to market, the threat in place to try to get them into the envelope of GDP. There is about 77 billion held by Bank of Ghana in non-marketable debt. Factoring. There is some domestically issued altogether because it's exempted, and it still stands exempted really. And you look at that plus some other still a lot of domestic debt even to look at or to consider. And so depending on how the external debt restructuring go, how deep it is, and what reliefs we succeed in getting from that side, it may even mean that we might have to look at it again. But at this point, it is the maze and then all of that, because we haven't even concluded the whole debt restructuring exercise. At least as we envisage it now. We are now in talks with the bilateral creditors. If we succeed with that, then we can extend similar terms or even better to the commercial creditors, that is the external ones. And only then can we ascertain how deep the restructuring is, and if there may be a need to, even beyond these are that second leg of DDP we are seeing now, even beyond that, there may be a need to even include things like your T-bills or maybe other forms of domestic debt that are not included in the envelope at this point in time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so from those experiences, it's not a call that is out of place, but again, I think that it is too early to even make such assertions yet, because yes, the initial one may not be deep enough, but we are looking at the external, see how that goes, and debt to GDP ratio by 2028.
The GCB Capital Limited, he's been explaining. Dr. Aduanane is back. You don't have any intention to protest, but I also want to find out, I mean, over the period, you deaf ear to all the pleas you've made. Tell me, has government settled all the issues with your forum?
I can say to some extent, largely. Okay. At the last time that we picked it, we got a payment. We thought government was going to pay for all the outstanding bonds.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Forms of domestic debt that are not included in the envelope at this point in time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so from those experiences, it's not a call that is out of place, but again, I think that it is too early to even make such assertions yet, because yes, the initial one may not be deep enough, but we are looking at the external, see how that goes, and debt to GDP ratio by 2028.
the GCB Capital Limited. He's been explaining. Dr. Edouanane is back. You don't have any intention to protest, but I also want to find out. I mean, over the period, you deaf ear to all the pleas you've made. Tell me, has government settled all the issues with your forum?
I can say to some extent, largely.
Okay.
At the last time that we picked it, we got payment. We thought government was going to pay for all the outstanding bonds up to the end of June, which included a 26 one. Unfortunately, we were disappointed. After the end of the day, we realized that the 26 one has not been paid. And then the last Monday, 3rd July, another coupon has been due, making 2. These are the things that we want. Next week it will be 3, and before you realize things that we want. Next week it will be 3, and before you realize it's hitting 10. For this assurance, government will not be paid. Government has assured us that it has directed the pensioners. So we felt that with this, we now have 2. And we have decided we won't picket this. It's not pay, company how to pay. And it becomes 3, then we don't want to wait until it hits the scene now. And Monday comes and add another, there's another one due on Monday. And it's not paid by Wednesday. Then Thursday we will pick it.
Dr. Edouanane, I'm grateful for your time. He's convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. Earlier you heard Courage Buti. He's with the GCB Capital Limited. He talked about the fact that it's too early to make an assertion that the DDEP has been useful, and also to think of a second DDEP coming on. So all of these are issues we are monitoring. Definitely getting into next week, as Dr. Edouanane states, tune them and see which path we are choosing. Let's get to other issues. Members of the National Food Suppliers Association are demanding payment of over 270 million Ghana cedis owed them from food supply to senior high schools across the country from 2021 to 2023. The members who have been picketing the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company say they will not leave the premises until their monies are paid to them. More in the following report.
The group first served notice of their intention to picket the premises of the National Buffer Stock Company on the 13th of June over their unpaid monies, but interventions by the government with a promise of settling them stopped the group from doing so. However, members of the group Tuesday besieged the National Buffer Stock Company, bent on not leaving until their monies are paid them. Kwame Amedume is the spokesperson of the group.
Government is owing us money for the supplies we've done since 2021 till date, running into millions of cities, 270 million. We've done everything possible to get our monies paid to us, which has not yielded any positive results. We had intentions of picketing here on the 13th of last month. There were some interventions which we saw that it was necessary for us to call off the picketing with the hope that they were going to get us paid before today. Unfortunately, after those interventions were made, that stopped us from picketing here on the 13th of last month. We have not heard anything from the government. Nobody has called us to tell us where and how our money is going to get paid. The 2 weeks we were promised that our money was going to get ready. The 2 weeks is gone, and we've not heard anything from government. It's a serious issue that we are putting before government because most of our members rely on loans to do the supply. Most of these people that we see here, gathered here this morning, depend on some little credibility to do business. That credibility is dwindling. They can no longer continue with the supply because some have even used their properties as collateral to secure the money. That collateral is in the verge of being taken over by the credit. That's why we are picketing. We are not picketing only for today. We are going to be here till tomorrow next, if our money is not paid. We want to be here, we want to live here.
The group is also demanding a review of the free SHS policy as they describe the current state of the implementation as a failure.
The continuance of the free SHS depends on we being able to supply on time. You see, the success of it doesn't depend on the student alone. The success of the policy of free SHS also depends on prompt payment to us. If they fail to pay us on time, how do we continue to supply? Those foodstuffs we supply, we take them up in our signing, in our contract between the buffer stock and the various companies. 2 of our members are dead, Mr. and Mrs., as a result of the emotional trauma that this membership go through. The buffer stock and the Ministry of Education doesn't seem to be sensitive to our plight. So after 2 years, those monies are going. If for 2 years we have not been able to get our monies for the supplies we have done, it means the free SHS is not a success story. They have to tend to look at us. We are not here to frustrate the process of the implementation of the free SHS policy. What we are here to do is to ask for the supplies we have done for government. Pay us so we can continue to work with the program.
One of the members who spoke to Joy News said life has not been easy for her and her family.
They owe me millions of Ghana cedis. Millions of Ghana cedis. It's been terrible. Very terrible. Very terrible. I can't stay home. I can't go out. Always my phone is off. If my phone is not off, it's on silence. Because the costs are just too much. BP is killing me. BP is just too much for me. We don't know what we've done to buffer stock. Because the work is still going on. They are sending foods to school. Education is supplying. Buffer stock is supplying. But some of us, the OS, we can supply as well. The OS, and we can supply. So we don't really know what they want from us.
The members who traveled from all regions of the country are prepared to stay at the premises until all monies are paid to them. The buffer stock is yet to comment on the demands of the association. Prince Kwame Kudege's report read to you.
Well, the Food Suppliers Association spent the night at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock. Here's Patrick Ifa, his General Secretary of the group, sharing his experience.
We say every time the food is supplied, within 60 days, we will be paid.
Right, you slept here, we've not heard anything from the buffer stock people?
No, buffer stock, right? They don't even care, they don't care at all. No. Nothing.
How did you cope here, sleeping here?
Yes, mosquitoes and the rest. People, because they have come from far, upper east, upper west, all the regions, they have come. And where are they going? They don't have money to rent hotels. So they have to spend the night here, and they are ready to spend.
Right.
Yes. So until we are paid, that's why we continue to be here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Let's take you live to where they're protesting, and we're joined by Kweku Amedonu for more. Kweku, tell us more about your night. How was your night at the buffer stock office, and what's the plan for today, especially as you've not heard from the buffer stock company? Hello, Kweku.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to say good morning to your viewers out there.
Kweku Amedonu is...
Yes.
Okay.
Night. Will not be there.
Kweku Amedonu, he is the spokesperson for the Food Suppliers Association, and he's been trying to paint a picture of how his members spent the night at the Buffer Stock office. We'll try and get him back on the line to tell us more, and also their plan for today. How long do they intend to do this? And also to find out if they've heard or they've had any word from the Buffer Stock Company. I must say, before this bulletin, we tried reaching out to Mr. Abdul Hanan, who is in charge of the Buffer Stock Company. We've not been successful with that, or try and get them to respond to some of the questions on our minds. But Kweku Amedonu is the spokesperson for this group. When he joins us, he will tell us more as to what engagements they've also had with government. I remember he told us that government was trying to resolve the issue. I mean, how did they end that conversation, and how did we get here? When he comes on, he will tell us all about that. Now to other stories. One person has died and 4 others have sustained severe fractures after a health center under construction collapsed on them. Eyewitness account says a woman and her 2 children and some other individuals were standing under the building when it suddenly came. The personnel from the Municipal Fire Command in Kasua came to Kofi Eji, who's been monitoring this.
We were able to rescue all of them. Initially, we rescued 4. Excavator to be able to clear the debris, to be able to rescue the final person, who is an elderly woman. We can't confirm whether she's alive or not, but the doctors at the hospital will be able to tell us her situation in due course. Okay.
What do you think might be the cause of this preliminary?
In due course. Okay.
What do you think might be the cause of this preliminary?
At this moment, we cannot pinpoint exactly what would have brought this, but in recent times, I think it has been raining. If you look at the nature of the soil that we stand on, even you could see that the place looks a bit like a muddy area, water area. So that we cannot pinpoint and say that that would have been the cause, that the ground maybe it's not good. That is why the building might have caved in or not. But confirm what exactly would have caused this.
Is it a case where
they look like that? All of us can see it. So you use your hand to tap the blood. The inferior materials have been used. Like I said, we have to do further investigation and probing to confirm whether really who is even constructing the building.
We can now hear from Adom News reporter Kofi Eji. Kofi, has there been any update from the health facilities on the 4 battling for their lives?
One person photo part on another.
The health facilities on the 4 battling for their lives.
One person photo part on another.